And we're back.
We're back. We're back.
And we got with us
not Chuck,
the florist Lava,
which is me,
and Jerry Moose.
Hello.
And Ajum.
Yeah.
And Chuck.
And
who did we call?
I call myself not Chuck.
Yeah, I'm not Adam.
I'm adjunct.
Adjunct.
We do a lot of word play and word association randomly.
Got it.
That sounds very red egg.
I like it.
Adjunct.
That's it. I'm changing my name. Adjunct.
Yeah, it's like if your name was like Earl, would be like Earl.
If I get into sales, I'll change my name to Advert.
Last name Tysement.
But wait, right? Middle name Wooly Saucy Fellow.
You're a woolly saucy fellow. We're some saucy boys.
Yeah.
Saucy boys.
Where you sit on my face?
Jeremy has no idea because
Did you listen to the most recent episode that came out today?
Today? No.
I do.
Listen to the episode that came out at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I do a really bad Michael Caine impression, and I do a really bad Michael Caine impression, and I keep saying, "Will you sit on my face?"
It came apart when we came apart. Yeah, it came apart. The episode came apart.
But yeah,
came undone.
Sounds like a Michael Caine expression.
Yes. Yeah. I just pretend he's talking to Bruce Wayne. All right, so what are we going to be talking about today?
Skeptic believer sandwich.
Yummy.
We this is basically going to be another spitball type episode, but it won't be a numbered one.
Where did the spitball come from? Like, why is it called spitball?
Because we spitball.
We spitball.
Going at it.
Because we're kids.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
We act like
children.
I like it.
Wait, so there are episodes where we spitball ideas.
I like that Jeremy's bringing this up.
Throughout those spitball episodes, we can pick certain things that can have a broader topic.
Right.
And then dive deeper into those.
I can pee in that corner. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Me too.
He's gonna piss in the corner.
Yes.
He's had a little too much to drink.
He's the new Brian Tyson.
That's what
in the corner right now.
I'm just kidding.
Real quickly, what are we drinking?
Is that a
today?
euphemism? I'm gonna pee in your corner?
No, the new Brian Tyson is a euphemism.
Nope, that's where you pee in Adam's corner.
We're drinking the cowboy beer again.
Yeah, we are. Because life
Coors
is
Light.
short, and
I should buy you guys some fucking beer.
Yes.
Let's talk about Helton.
So
let's talk about sex.
Talk about with Helton.
Well, wait, what is Slava drinking?
Beverage.
Hold on.
I'm
drinking a 40. It looks like.
Yeah, it's
No,
called.
it's a 42.
It's a 42.
A 42.
It's the newest design, well designed because it's made of plastic, so it doesn't break on.
I like
point,
it.
And it's glass, and I've had those experiences.
Oh, yeah,
But
I have
anyway,
too.
it's a time traveling experience. The Steel Reserve. It just
Takes you back to 15 years old.
It takes you back to wherever you think you were part of, but it's not. You're not it.
And the number 42.
Remember those times
That is the answer.
when I lived on Roosevelt and we would drink 40s in my backyard?
Yes.
Yes.
Greatest times.
Or drink Zima in my dad's truck?
Remember the first time that I drank?
Yeah.
We got the
Oh my God.
Jack Daniels.
My parents still talk to me about that.
Still?
Yeah.
I was like 20
Oh, and my mom
years
wanted
ago.
to say hi. She said that she got an email from Wells Fargo like a couple years ago, and it was from Cesar Quintanilla.
That's really weird.
And she replied to it saying, "Hey, I don't know if you remember
Oh
me."
yeah, I remember that.
So that was you.
Yeah, that was
Right,
me.
I figured it was you because how
There's only
I
one
remember that.
Cesar Quintanilla.
Yes.
She's like, he didn't respond. I'm like, it's probably because it wasn't work related. So
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, you had a story about the...
No, actually, I wanted to ask you guys.
Yes.
Now that you brought this topic up, about faith. Do you guys? I don't. It's sometimes it divides. It creates this divide between something that comes after life versus something that's deep and better way of meaning. Think about it this way.
Yes.
So, like the afterlife, some of the people don't believe in afterlife. Like, let's say, example for Buddhists, you'll be reborn until you fucking reach it. And so, if you do believe in afterlife in that place, you will reach that spot. but you
Nirvana,
would
my
have to
favorite
try.
band.
Yes, you forgot the condoms on that part. That's please. I would like to keep them updated, but anyway, go on with that. No, it's one of the things is we've pushed it so far that now we're looking at a thing that's like, is it realistic? Now, funny thing, we mentioned some other podcasts before with characters that challenged individuals on a religious basis that actually do something actively productive. That turns around and works counterproductive. That has no belief in the afterlife, making it completely non-religious in that way at all. let's take, for example, the funny, the great, fucking, what do you call them? Scientologists. Those guys that
funny and the great.
judge you on every motherfucking thing you do.
The religion
And,
was
they're gonna keep
built
practicing.
on a bet.
Yeah.
Damn straight. But here's the funny part. It's so well controlled that it teaches you to analyze and criticize and pull apart little pieces by pieces, like it belongs together. And when you learn to do that, that's a manipulative tactic.
Oh yeah.
Well, the thing about it is, though, is that even some cults will teach you how to grow corn. There's good things in some things, but if you look at the whole, it's like...
obviously
Yeah, like Malachi. He was really good at teaching. No, that's a movie.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Good thing you brought up
Yes,
Malachi.
Children of the Corn.
That's
Not that Malachi.
No.
That Malachi motherfucking knew what he was doing when he was convincing those kids.
Oh, you are talking
That's
about. Okay,
a
all right.
different thing. No, that motherfucker knew what he was doing. But here's the thing, though. Like, who the fuck knew? Maybe it was some asshole, some bum stuck in a fucking ditch, and it was fucking with him, throwing like corn at him. But,
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, surely, to be honest,
Putting a cob in your cornhole.
Popping the corn. Wait.
Oh, God.
We're known for coming up with new euphemisms.
We're
Anyways, go ahead.
going to shuck your corn.
Real quick, dude, we need to do an episode where it's Nate and Slava and just call it Learning to Curse with Slava and Nate. And we just sit back and listen to these guys talk.
It would be learning to curse without Adam and Chuck.
It would be awesome because
Learning to curse without Adam and Chuck.
Yeah.
those two, you guys would hit it off and you guys would have a lot to
Yeah.
talk about. And we would just take a break. We'd be lazy over here.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, how active are you part of that cult faith of it? Are you actually in for a feel? Are you in for that redemption? Do you feel like you're gonna shit yourself if you're gonna be brought up to that judgment stool? Or are you fucking doing it because you're trying to recover?
I can't help but point out that you said shit yourself and stool in the same sentence.
Right.
Yes.
That's not.
Shit and stool. Like, one of the things, reason why we believe.
Yes.
And personal practices, I try to explore as much as I can of belief, and it sucks sometimes because it could be demotivating. But I always promote Christians around me because that's the group I grew up in, and Muslims as well. Like, if I see them, like, please practice your stuff, because if you don't, you're gonna be a shit, like, two shades away from like
So
a
if you
friend.
grew up, since you grew up around Christians, are you an Orthodox Christian?
I am baptized Orthodox Christian.
But do you practice?
Practice. I go to church with a family, but I do it out of respect. So I do it out of it's ritual.
Obligation kind of
Obligation,
thing.
ritual,
That's a
yes.
harsh thing to say,
So
but
since you were,
But that's a yeah.
so you grew up as an Orthodox
Yes.
Christian. So then, do you believe in God and believe in the afterlife, or
Nope.
do you? Okay.
I do believe in afterlife. I don't believe in God. I don't think there's a man in charge or think we're living in the same fucking place that we do now. It's just accept it's a different dimension.
Christian.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you. That's kind of where I've been teetering these days, but I'm always willing to sway my beliefs if something else comes up. You know that makes a little more sense. But that's basically
that kind of breaches the
higher dimension
approaches the
thing.
topic. What were you going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to ask another question, but
Go ahead.
Well,
I
no,
was just gonna
real
say-
quick, Slava, he set this topic up really well. That's a great intro to what we're
And
talking about today.
So what is it that happened that made you not believe in God? So when you were younger, growing up, did you believe in God in the way that the Orthodox Christians do? Or
I
did you
believed in
not?
God. I don't think I had enough education at that time.
Yeah, right.
And because I didn't have enough education, I didn't have enough proof.
And
Right,
you know what?
right.
That
So-
tends
so
to be the case with a lot of people that are quote unquote religious. They just kind of take someone's word for it. But how many of them question them? When somebody says that they're religious, do they actually read their text? Do they really get in
Well,
depth
say
into it?
that's-
Do they question it? Do they make sure it's 100%?
Well, I was going to say, I've said it before, but the fastest way from me becoming, Christian
Is
or
you run into
religious
the whole book?
to non-religious or not believing in God was reading the Bible from
Right.
cover to cover.
Because
I
if
read
you
the
read
whole
it,
Bible. And there's so many inconsistencies in it that it can't be the inherent word of God.
So the book
So-
ends actually bookended your belief.
I read through it twice. The second time I read through it and I got to Exodus and I'm asking myself again, why is Moses able to argue with God about killing a certain number of Israelites and God changes his mind? Like,
Right.
he would have fucking known already.
Right.
Yeah.
You would have known.
And he would have
already
just
based
done what he
off of the
does
things.
because it's preordained. He's
But-
omniscient.
Right, but if we take those things away from him, then would it be feasible for you to believe in God? So like if we
science is slowly but surely taking everything away.
So like if we took away the fact that God was omniscient or omnipresent or omni whatever, or
So
at that point, who's to say that God's not an alien or an interdimensional being that was actually communicating with people?
God is all powerful.
Right, but
wait.
Go ahead.
God is all powerful, but chooses to allow bad things to happen, or God isn't all powerful.
Right.
And bad things happen anyway, so what's the point of worshiping a being that's not all powerful?
That you can't be protected from.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
now, would you guys challenge this one particularly? And Chuck, from my work experiences, being in the same position, actually still am on the paycheck. But the thing is, the practice of me doing the positive shit. I'm an optimist. I'm an asshole optimist, of course. I mean, I'll say something smart ass and I'll offend somebody and I'll be like, oh shit, I really didn't mean it,
That is going on a shirt.
But that's one of those things, That's one of those things, though. I promote something for somebody to be good. Now, here's the thing. A famous saying across all fucking places, all corners, he's within all of us. Mm-hmm. God is within all of us. Now, the practices we do. What practices do you define to be creators, one? Or are they creator? Or are they judger? Are they judge? And here's one of the things. It's like whenever I see something godly in somebody, it's if someone just chooses to step outside their ego and walk over, which here's again, the most godly thing you can do is self-sacrifice, is forget yourself and forget your ego, to step outside of that, to make sure that someone else is cared for before yourself.
Talking about self-sacrifice and altruism, and I think we've had this conversation before, is there really such thing as a pure altruism? Or is every unselfish act a selfish act inherently because you're doing it to have those endorphins go off in your brain?
So I think that you can get to a point where
you can just work
let go of your ego, which has to do with
shrooms
with certain practices. But in reality, unless you take, in my opinion, so maybe not in reality, but in my opinion,
your opinion is your reality.
Right. But if you take the steps to remove the ego, then I think that you can get to a point where you're doing things out of altruism.
Yeah, I get it.
If you don't do those things, then the things that we do on a daily basis are instinctually for our preservation.
Yeah.
So they're not altruistic.
Even charitable acts,
Everything that we do is based off of something that has to do with us.
I don't think it's impossible to be altruistic, or completely altruistic. I don't think it's impossible.
Charitable
I think it's within
acts.
the human range to have that or be that type of person.
It's a hell of an experience to be ego-free.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think a lot of the time, even like he was saying, it's just for self-preservation, even if it's subconsciously.
Yeah, right.
So,
and that's what the argument would be, because in the end, if you look at facts and we do come from primates, then the things that we do are still based off of the same instincts that the primates would do.
Yeah.
And we do things just for our preservation, which no matter what we do, it's for us and our family and for the things that we hold dear. So those are all for us.
Yeah.
And then in my opinion, it doesn't make it that if we do good things, that it's wrong because they're selfish. You're still doing something good that's benefiting people.
Yeah.
But I don't think that I don't think there's any altruism
if you're
in a normal person's day-to-day life.
If you're 100% altruistic and you're doing things, charitable things, giving of every part of yourself to the point that it's at your detriment, I think that's just mental illness.
Well, I was going to say earlier, charitable acts are still for the ego.
Well, and so I deal with a lot
still for the ego.
So in my day-to-day work, I deal with a lot of rich, stupid fucks.
Yeah.
And so even then, the only reason why most of them give is so it can
either be a write-off or
So they do
or to feel good.
You do that.
But how many people would straight up loud admit the fact that, hey, I'm just trying to buy my way back out of the fucking thing I just did the other week?
Right.
There's still a lot of childish
absolutely. And so I agree with you. I don't think people do things that are unaltruistic on a day-to-day basis. I don't think there's such a thing.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think it is possible for it to become
done. To become ego-free is a very interesting experience, to be honest. To become ego-free, you can become ego-free negatively, or you can become practicing it positively. I am fortunate enough to actually get the positive part of the experience because I didn't have anyone I didn't kill anyone, or I didn't have an experience to like have such a drastic change in my life where shit just went numb.
Yeah.
Becoming ego free. I had one funny point. It's like there was when I was in high school, being a foreigner, the white foreigner, and that's what I told you guys earlier, was
That's a cool nickname.
And I wanted to.
The white foreigner.
Dude,
It's like Foreigner, the band Foreigner, we're all black, like
Foreigner.
like living color.
Like imagine, it's the Russian Fez.
The white living color.
There you go. Yes.
Russian Fez, like, throw that one down. It changes the topic, and that's one of those things. Yeah, but being that, I wanted to learn to like fight fucking back because my brother wasn't there. We're 8.5 years apart. He's older than me, and I was like, fuck, dude. Like I'm here. He's in the Ukraine, and like whatever the fuck he taught me, I guess he got to use. So anyone fucking lays a hand, I'll do whatever I can to make him regret it. Here's the thing, though. It's from that just experience.
So he's going to be our security on our live shows.
Yeah.
No,
You and Nate with Nate's guns.
Yeah.
I hope I'm more of entertainment than I am security, but
Both.
one of the things.
That's only backstage stuff.
Chuck and I can throw things at people
Instead of
too.
security on your shirt, we can have a black shirt on the back that says white foreigner.
Yes.
Ask away if you don't feel comfortable asking other foreigners. It'll make it look like they're
White Foreigner, the Russian Fez.
That's good. That is good.
It's like the Fuzz, but he's not. Yeah. He's our Fuzz. He's a Fez.
Foreign Ukraine student.
Yes.
That's funny.
Going with that. I had to find a way to keep myself out of getting the battery charge. Very famous one fucking hitter where you can end up in jail and get the fuck deported back.
Yes.
One of the.
I was really confused for a second.
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
took me a second.
who's charging your battery?
Battery charge.
Battery.
You lay
Like
fucking
assault and battery.
Now I get it. I thought we were talking about a physical battery. I'm like, battery?
All right. Well, I guess
Assault
you guys need to
and
get your
Sodium alkaline.
Battery.
I
Jeremy.
don't know what the hell you guys put in those cores, but it might be something stronger that makes this.
It's a sodium alkaloid.
It's a what?
A sodium alkaloid? It's assault and battery?
Dimethyltryptamine.
a little bit of aluminum.
So, what do you guys think would, like, for example,
I wanted to finish real quick.
yeah.
Because of that, I learned to pick up Taoism. I picked up Taoism because I found a fucking book on Bruce Lee that says it was his book that he wrote when his back was broke.
Okay.
So I started learning that, and I wanted to become like a fucking fighter. Yeah, that fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
That cheesy. You know what? It actually changed it to a completely opposite. I mean, it changed it to a fighter, but a better way, and I became a peaceful person. I've learned about Taoism, and that's my first philosophical knowledge was through Eastern philosophy based on Taoism, Confucianism, and simplicity of controlling our ego on how much we just think we want, or just how much we think. We shouldn't even be thinking. It's like if we think we're enjoying something, we're like savoring it, we're playing with it, but we're not. But that's just based on Taoism. If we actually do try to think about things, we're being idiots. We're like applying too much shit. We're applying that one extra element in the formula, and it always affects it. How are we approaching it and how are we applying it is a big deal. And so, like, are we looking for it as a way to escape or a way we're gonna be judged? We better get our shit together. Like last minute fucking calls. Like when people die, they make those fucking decisions. And Rockefeller, back in those days, they believed that like at the end it was okay to give the fuck back. So they just rolled with whatever the fuck they wanted.
Yeah.
It was
when you have that much money and control,
you can smoke some of it.
you can burn it in front of everybody.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say,
though, even if you have a lot.
just going off of what Slava was saying is that he's gone through these experiences.
Yes.
He was raised Christian, and it kind of follows our story too. I mean, I was raised Christian. And
I kind of was.
I think I believed. I thought I believed.
But was it like?
But it was
like Slava was saying about the lack of.
My belief was determined by my understanding at the time. Mm-hmm. So what I understood.
The deep research.
Yeah, from what I understood and what I was told, without actually thinking about it or going into it, and the fears that were put into me that you should expect for not believing, and the
Here's a funny fact.
Well, go ahead.
Eastern Europe hasn't. As much as I've been through a Orthodox Christian community. I'm not saying that it's just Orthodox, but it's fucking weird. When I came to US, dude, like there's a lot of like fear hell.
Yeah.
Fear hell.
Oh yeah,
It's
they
like,
push that hardcore here.
Over there, it's like
That's how they get you to tithe.
Yeah, it's like sermons.
Give us money.
Yeah, they don't even sit down actually in that country. There is not a fucking
because there's
seat.
no chairs.
Yeah, dude. You would be impressed to see how fucking fat that cathedral is, dude. And you would not want a damn chair in that thing.
Because it's cold and they need to insulate themselves.
So I think for me though, like my thing was that I liked it because of community.
Yeah.
So like I liked going there because you were there.
Right.
Michelle was there.
Right.
Your brother was there.
Yeah.
Bobby was there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I get that too. Yeah.
You know, and so like that was the reason why I liked it, but like it coming to a decision like, well, this is stupid. That was after like everything kind of, I think, growing up, and becoming an adult, and you could do other things with your friends, and it wasn't all based around.
And we could do this on the Sunday.
That plays a big role. Like for example, right now all of us look white, but how many of us are Hispanic?
I'm Hispanic.
I have a little.
So you relate to Hispanic community. How well do you relate when it comes down to like somebody not knowing or understanding things, and how would you affect it? Like you look like a very
white person.
Not white person, but
yes, that's how you look.
So I wasn't.
you seem to have that tendency to. You look like you care for someone. You could care for another individual. If someone gets hurt, you would walk up and help them.
Right.
How more likely are you to do that with more intense if it was one of your people?
So probably not, because my people are white. I wasn't raised with a Hispanic family. It was just my mom who's Irish.
I would totally stereotype as a Russian. I would help out a Russian guy, or maybe.
But I think your situation's different because you're a foreigner. So if you saw another foreign, like if someone that you looked at, this person's foreigner or this person's Russian, that's more of your people that you would go to.
But that's the thing, that plays a lot in the faith as well.
Correct, I agree.
And that's it's sometimes intermixed together.
So is that basically a way of saying that a Christian is going to be more likely help a Christian than they would be to help?
The
But
reason is
even though that their doctrine is telling them to proselytize and go out and be fishers of men.
Yeah, they're more likely to help a Christian.
Just stay with their own community.
Look at the Mormon
I mean,
community.
from my experience, from my experience of the churches that I've gone to, they're not very accepting of outsiders.
No.
Anybody come? I mean, if you're new to the group, you have to.
There's a
prove
lot of
yourself.
things that are backwards in religion. They preach one thing, but they do the opposite.
Purity. A lot of people are searching purity, and
You know the best way to test purity?
Dude, that's the
Stick
thing
your dick in a vagina?
That's the thing that sucks about ISIS. It's a lot of fucking blind young individuals that are trying to find that purity.
Yeah.
And they find that purity, they join fucking gangs.
Yeah.
They think that it's like, as long as
we're
you
from
follow this
Maryville,
code,
we know.
we're the same fucking
We
thing.
know they
We're
do,
pure.
yeah.
We know what. Yeah, dude, that's exactly what Adam pointed out. Is that it's once you find out those fucking purities, it's like a person wants to be pure. They want to be free of the commercials. All of us want to be free of this shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I'm an artist. I can drown myself in this shit, but I still want to be free of it. Because I truly inside, like, I've discovered myself. I've fucking went philosophically beyond the point. And to be honest, I still want to be a fucking pure individual, but I realize that it's not a case. Because if I do become that, I will become fucking crazier than a motherfucker.
Crazier still?
Dude, like, I am crazy right now.
I know. That's what.
Back to what we were
The
saying
good
earlier.
crazy though. You're the fun crazy.
Thank you.
Back to what we were saying earlier. I find myself in being one of those rare individuals where I don't have a people. I don't have a people that I associate with.
It's really easy to find yourself.
Yes,
you're
I
right
can find
there.
myself. Like,
Here I am.
There's some.
I
Here
can
I
find
am.
my reflection.
Here I am. I found me.
Now I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head.
But
What song?
No, if I remind you, he'll start singing it.
oh shit, I probably will.
Don't tell me Hurricane song, dude. I knew it.
Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours.
That's a good one too. No, but I'm such a Heinz 57.
Yeah.
I don't really have a people. I mean, I'm part of my grandfather's Lebanese.
Does that mean you go good on my steak?
Exactly. Heinz 31 flavors.
Lebanese. Okay.
So my grandfather's family came from Lebanon and Syria. he wasn't even in touch with his people. Like, I mean, he was very Americanized. I mean, he even fought in World War II. My grandmother is an immigrant from Germany, Stuttgart. I don't identify with the Germans. I don't identify with the Chamorros, which my mother is also a Chamorro, from Guam. A lot of people are like, what is that?
They're really good with cinnamon and sugar.
Chamorro churros. Yes, churros. My point in bringing this up is, I'm such a melting pot of different backgrounds that I don't really identify with one or the other. So I kind of find myself...
Why aren't you gray?
I know, right? I'm morally gray.
To be honest, I can relate to you on this part, is that I'm like more like your grandfather, just because my next generation is going to be like you.
Yeah.
But the thing is I do relate to my own people. I relate to Russians. I relate to Ukrainians. Sometimes I relate Ukrainians before Russians because I feel I'm more of that, but they all fucking came from Kiev, which is started like ancient Russia, and both it's the capital of Ukraine, and it's all the same. The only funny part is that it's like I am a mutt, and looking back at it and seeing and becoming a citizen of a way new culture, of a different language, of a different aspect, and optimism too about that shit. But anyway,
asshole optimism. It's going on a shirt, damn it.
You go into a point of no return.
I'll be coming on that shirt.
Actually, there's a point of no return. If you guys ever find that, a point of no return is where you stop giving a shit about whatever the hell happens after.
Yeah, I think I reached that recently.
It's one of those things. It's like once I became a United States citizen, after like a year, I hit that point of no return of saying, I don't give two shits to go back there. I want to go back there just so I can visit my home.
Right.
That's how I feel about Maryville.
But you've disassociated yourself from being of that nationality.
Yeah.
You're now an American.
You live in the moment. You live the life that takes the moment right now. Because you no longer takes a part of that. Some of our cultures and traditions, they hold us down and keep us there. But that's why religion is so broad.
Yeah.
It still keeps us home.
Well, you can't live in the past, because if you're always looking back, you're going to run into a wall.
Yes. Now, would you...
Yeah. Or just fucking...
Look where you're going, not where you came from.
He's going to trip backwards, I think. That's all it is.
Now, would you say that it's not to the level of, like, nationalism and patriotism that you find in, like, right-wing America?
No, not at all.
Not that we're a political podcast.
Truly, to be honest, that's a has to happen extremity. That's like 1%, you know, or like whatever percentage it is. It has to happen. There's always got to be some kind of extreme. If there isn't any extreme,
then we wouldn't know where the middle is.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing. If there is an extreme, there isn't a side, and that's what makes it real shitty. Like especially wars after World War II. Every fucking one of them, we didn't know what was evil, what was good.
Right.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows? Like,
every side is going to think they're the right.
The right
exactly.
side.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even the Germans thought they were right, but I mean, it's clearly defined that they are not.
Well, of course, extermination.
What's wrong with them? They like to fire up the ovens. That's all.
but
They were baking bread.
Common idea is this.
Happy little bakers.
Your bread and beer.
As sad as it sounds, that was their actual winning point, dude. Like, that was their fucking winning point. That's the thing. German money wasn't worth shit after fucking depression.
No.
And so what they did, they fucking baked bread. They're like, I'm not gonna give you money. We're gonna give you fucking
I break
food
the
that
bread.
you can't afford with your money, you know? That was the thing. And practice, just in general, it's. Oh, I already kind of forgot where I was going. I think
we do that all the time. Don't worry.
But what I was going to say was a good point then from all of this is that one of the things that can take someone from possibly being a skeptic is being a part of that community.
Yeah.
And then only until they
but can the community provide?
Community can't provide.
Yes.
Will they go back to being a skeptic?
Yeah.
Or going against what they believe?
Because you have your ghost hunter communities.
There's one thing that I did want to say to that is that I'm at my breaking point.
And we're back.
We're back.
And we're back.
We're back. So I had a random idea when I was urinating.
Ooh, was it? Why does only the left side burn?
No, exactly. Why does this itch so bad?
What is this stuff between my legs?
That's a penis.
Man chunk. So I was thinking,
hey man,
when we do the telekinesis episode, I want to make up a meme of a shirt with a head shaped like a map and call it urination.
Awesome. Yes.
Get it? Yuri, like Yuri Geller.
Yes.
The telekinetic.
Dude, I would mix up with diarrhea more than like pissing thing, dude. Because like, telekinesis, like that's like extreme, like fucking depression, or no, what do you call it?
Telekinesis is
like more like
moving shit with your mind.
yeah, of course, but you would have
Telepathy.
in that state of mind. Remember, every part that we do in every moment of our life is affected by how we approach it.
Yeah.
And how we approach it is what state minded we are. Are we just fucking slopping, second-handed this shit like because we just woke up, or are we actually engaging it in a habitual practice where it's like a fucking ritual to a point where now it becomes a meditation because it has a consistent level.
Or we shut off our brain and go through motions.
Which is fucking morning thing.
Yeah.
You know, when people do that,
Yes.
right, in their daily routine, and they say they don't know how to meditate,
Have you
Yeah.
guys seen
that's
the
meditation.
have you seen
Meditation
the
is kind of worthless unless you
guys
use it
seen
to
the
quiet your mind.
telekinesis martial artist?
Thank you.
So
No.
there's this guy that claims online. I forgot.
I
his
think I
name.
have.
And like
Yeah.
when he fights, he'll like fight you.
He'll just go like
not
this,
actually
and-
hurt
yeah.
you.
And he's got his, his-
And then there's a karate like a. He like said that any UFC fighter that wants to come and fight him, he'll go get some, and no one wanted to, but this black belt in karate did, and he just kicked his ass.
Yeah. Did you see the Buddhist monk?
No.
No. It wasn't a Buddhist monk. It was because the Buddhist monk kicked ass. It was a Tai Chi master.
Nice.
Oh, I've seen-
And
the
got
People
his
make fun of
ass-
Tai
got his
Chi.
ass
What are they doing when they do their movements? Those are martial arts
Balancing
movements.
energy.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but there's a difference between like. So do you fight?
I don't, but I know exactly where they're coming from.
So like there's martial arts that are
Tai Chi
spiritual or
is-
for like learning a discipline, and then there's
Yeah.
martial arts that are like made to kick people's ass.
They're martial.
Like-
And then you have aerobic.
yeah, so like Tai Chi's good, like it's good, and it's something that you can supplement martial arts.
Couldn't you argue that
Yeah,
Tai
if you've
Chi
got
is
really
like
bad-
the Mr. Miyagi way of learning how to do martial arts?
Haven't you seen Tai Chi Man?
Man of Tai
Oh,
Chi.
I actually
Man-
see it. That's a good
Man of Tai
Keanu
Chi with
Reeves,
Keanu Reeves.
enough.
Yeah,
That's a good movie. Yeah.
Fucking.
He's a good bad guy in that
Tai Chi is a
movie.
martial arts. I just think that they didn't. I don't know. I think that-
I think
It's
the
not
idea is
practical.
They're losing the meaning behind it if they did it the martial arts way.
correct.
Because the true meaning behind it is to be peaceful, to be nothing, to be
thing about-
Yes.
even.
The thing about fighting like that is that you can't strictly. The mixed martial arts is the best way to go because you can't just have one
Good
discipline.
segue.
Right.
Because if you have just one discipline, you
Yes.
only strictly use that one discipline, and somebody else has like
Yeah.
a
I wanted-
different style.
Completely
and
so
the-
one of the
yeah.
things one of the things that's just frustrating in my opinion in MMA how it is now in UFC is that it's mainly either K1 kickboxing, Muay Thai, and then jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu for the grappling aspect of it.
Yeah.
But then you'll find people that have like multiple different backgrounds in martial arts, and they're even more phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I still think you need to train in different martial
No,
arts.
yeah, you
but
would have to-
Traditionally, what would happen is they saw people that were winning over time, and those people were mainly Muay Thai, K1 kickboxing, and obviously Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for the grappling piece of it. But
Right.
some of the stuff that some of them go through to train is just phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah,
As far as
A good
how-
segue.
You know, a lot of that training is not really about like mastering the art. It's about
Correct.
mastering yourself.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
one of the things is once you start mastering yourself, when you go to the next art, you have to be just as humble as you started with the
Right,
first one.
right.
Like I think of it the way that I think of playing the guitar. Like
Yes.
if I had like a strict, and I'd probably be more technical and better at playing the guitar, but
But
I
you wouldn't have
be
come
as,
across some of the things that you could do.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I wouldn't be as free with it.
I
wouldn't
learned from
be-
multiple
I would
teachers
be,
without them knowing they teach me.
I would be withheld from
Yeah.
my creativity.
Correct.
And this is all a good segue because I want to bring this back to the paranormal and skeptics and believers and all
faith.
that.
It's actually-
But
it's a faith.
Would you say
I wouldn't.
that it's problematic to get all your news from one source?
Yes.
That's basically what we're talking about
Absolutely,
here.
it's problematic.
Yes.
No
You know,
shit.
whether it be
News
religion
from
or
one
learning
source.
guitar or martial arts or like
Actually,
the
that's a
paranormal.
good point.
I think
That's-
because I
good
think a
segue.
thing a thing that turns off more skeptic minds, more rational thought minds is you have a community again like religion.
Yeah.
But you have a community that's UFOs,
Like Joel
UFOs,
McHale?
UFOs. They are aliens. They're definitely trying to indoctrinate you.
Other stuff.
Right, they're
Right.
trying to indoctrinate you in these different groups that when you see UFOs, they are aliens, they're otherworldly ships, and no
Right.
matter what, I mean, okay, who's to say
But
that?
then you bring up like a specific like a satellite number, like a specific satellite
Yes.
that would have coincided with that
They'll say, "Oh no, it's
sighting
not
that they
that.
saw.
That was not it. That was not it."
They
Just
wouldn't
like
know
religion.
what you're talking about because their only focus is the
That.
different UFOs and the
Right.
grays and the.
Whereas
fucking
Chuck and I are trying to
Yeah.
trying to rationally look at all areas of paranormal, because I do have this, I hold the theory that it is all connected some way or another.
Yeah.
Just as in everything in the universe is connected in one way or another.
Right.
And if there is a God or some source of energy that created everything, it's all from that.
It's Mr.
And
Bean.
even if it's not like the religious, spiritual type of entity, a God or anything, everything comes from one source. There's no way around it. This all came from one source.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's all connected. There you can argue that all the paranormal is connected.
Like a
but
daisy
when you
chain.
focus on one area, just like a religion or one school of thought in martial arts or
that
anything.
energy.
Yes.
So something that's fun.
You're excluding all the other things that could answer
yeah.
some of your questions.
And
Jeremy's trying to say something.
I was waiting to get all that out.
I'm messing around.
I don't even know what you threw.
No, and I agree.
I threw a coaster.
That you have to be able to find your things from other places, and I think
Yes.
that one of the most important things that we have that people consider themselves as being an agnostic, because when you're an agnostic, whether you know or don't know, I think
Gnosticism deals
Yes.
with
Right.
knowing something.
but
without the lack of evidence, you're still going to believe as a Gnostic.
There might be another word that I'm looking for. It's when you find something that makes sense and it's practical to you.
Your
so
approach.
then you can go, you use it. And Japanese,
Occam's razor.
maybe Japanese people, I think, are very good at that, because when Christianity came over to Japan, they just took the principles that made sense, and then they still went on believing in Shintoism and Buddhism.
Yeah.
So it's very common
Yes.
in Japan where you'll have Buddhism mixed with Shintoism,
Where their religions and ideologies
because
can
they take
evolve.
the things that make sense,
Yeah.
and then they add those into their daily lives and practices.
And I think one of the biggest plays in that part, and especially Eastern philosophy, like I was raised, the way I forced myself to be raised that way is just
It's right there
because
by
of that
Jeremy's foot.
scenario, is it comes down to discipline. It's
Right.
how much are you willing to practice that philosophy in your head?
Right.
It's not just being like tomorrow I'm gonna go and pray. No, it's at this moment I am breathing in and out deeply, and I know my breath will hold on 4 seconds, and then
That's the thing.
That's the thing. The consistency of it, that involvement in it, is what creates the actual belief. It's the involvement and practice of retaining it at a very stable level. Very fucking hard thing to do.
Yeah.
It is. A state of
I don't think
meditation
that-
if you do that.
I don't think that everyday average Joe does that.
No.
Ever thinks about it unless they have
Athletes
to think
do.
about it.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
that's one
for
of
certain
those
things, but I'm telling like that's an extreme position though, because not everyone's an athlete.
Yes.
a lot of
Your
kids don't
average
go through
person
this.
Some people have an aptitude
doesn't
for it. Some
actually
people
sit there
struggle hard
and
to
think
get good
about
at
the
it.
philosophy of life. Think about
Yeah.
their actions. Think about the cause and effect. They don't think about meditation
Right.
or reflecting.
And what'll,
Yeah.
what'll happen is
and
people-
just roll through their day until they get to a point where they have to think about
That's
it.
the funny
Right,
part.
and
Is
that's
the
true what people
athletics
do.
makes it
Yeah.
easier to translate. As a person like knowing a few languages, it makes it easier to translate.
Say it in Ukraine.
Say, I can't. Ukrainian, dude, you're pulling the one language I did not practice with my family.
Okay, fine.
I can like read
What
it back
happened?
to
What are
you.
we
and-
talking?
Don't do that,
What'd
Chuck.
you say?
I told him to say it in a different
I
language.
speak Russian and Ukrainian languages,
Right.
but I can't. I can read Ukrainian. I'm more read and understand Ukrainian than actually speak it.
Right.
Because my family's just they're all Russian speakers, but it's not because of the Russian thing. It's just my home fucking city happens to do it, and
Right.
a lot of cities are like that around. But anyway, the thing is,
Excuse me.
he got it on point.
Exactly.
It's-
That was a whole other language.
Yeah.
It is. It's a simplistic. Just like when you're a kid, when you're being spanked, pain comes in as a simple fact. It fucking hurts. You don't want to fucking do it.
Right.
So right there on the spot, you
Unless you're a
translate that as,
masochist.
it sucks.
This is like, hold on, I gotta pause for a second. I just pictured like a 12-year-old masochist who's just like a cat and just walks over and knocks a vase over and points his ass at somebody. Ready for my spanking.
That's and the punishment is you don't spank them.
Oh,
I appreciate.
well, it's like I used to ground my son from going to his room.
But back to what Adam was saying is that I think that's one of the things that makes skeptics or not skeptics is the amount of willingness they're able to get their information from different sources.
Yes.
Okay.
Because a lot of the people, when they believe in something, they'll only get their information from that thing that they're believing in, which affirms what they're believing in. So they're never going to go to that skeptic
And
place.
unfortunately, a lot of time it's
Real
just
quick.
falling down into the hole of community. Like
into
you
a hole.
want to get with other people that believe in it, but then you start getting indoctrinated by that community.
and
Unfortunately,
you want to be a part of that
Yeah.
community.
I I'm just going to debunk this right now. That's not two ghosts having wild anal sex.
That's just my chair.
No, but there are mystics in certain locations. Like, as funny as it sounds, my home country has a lot of fucking mystics.
Yeah.
And there's people...
Has a lot of Mexicans?
Mystics.
Mystics.
Mystics. Yes.
We had a band at one point, side note,
Mysticism.
called Mysticism, and we weren't mystics.
Do you remember Lionfish Circus?
So
I'm just not going to ask about that,
Make
right?
some music.
We should.
Okay, that sounds actually kind of cool.
Mystics in your homeland. That sounds like an album.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
the mystics themselves, they're the individuals that dedicate their lives to it.
Yes. Yeah.
Not somebody who just, maybe a near-death experience can trigger a fucking thing, but that's a 1 in a billion fucking chance. So, like, about its equivalent is...
What was the numbers
If
that we
we
came
didn't
up with
know
the other?
Oh, it was ridiculous for
Yeah.
near-death experiences,
Dude,
like
yeah.
19 million or something like that.
Yeah.
That's the
astronomical.
thing. It's that we're all based off of that, and then we think we have the power, but the only thing is we understand it a little better.
Yeah.
However,
Well, I was just gonna say, I still don't think that we've really talked about how what it would be that would
gauging-
cause somebody to
that's
change
what
their
we're doing.
mind.
No, I think you're doing a good job because what we're doing is we're gauging the parameters. Everything
Yes.
has a
Gauge your parameter. You know what I mean?
If you look at a
Checking the oil.
if you look at a fucking regular box, dude, it has like fucking 8 points on it.
But I think so. Based off of Chuck's point, I think that the thing that would cause, if we're looking at someone, so do we want to talk about someone being a believer and becoming a skeptic first, or
both.
a skeptic to becoming
Real quick.
There's going to be different things.
There's gotta-
One last thing on
Yeah.
community. Community can create skeptics.
Yeah. That's
It
true.
created skeptics
Because
out of us.
I
to a
sought
degree.
out a community to help reaffirm my ideas and thoughts,
but
to drag me away from religion.
Then we can
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So when you were finding yourself, when you were finding your answers to whether or not you wanted to believe in the Christian doctrine, you started surrounding yourself with other people that possibly didn't believe in the Christian doctrine, which also made it easier for you to step away from being a Christian because you weren't around other people that were talking to you about Christianity.
Yeah.
And so at that point, it's easier for you to stay in that place where you're an atheist or you don't believe in God because you're around other people that don't believe in God.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the things that if you're going to believe and then become a skeptic, I think one of the main things that changes people is either diving deeper into what their belief is
And personal experience.
like with you reading the Bible multiple times and asking questions.
It's the point of there's an extreme case. There's an extreme claim, and what's the word I'm looking for? Something that's seemingly unbelievable, and you have to believe it.
Right.
Yeah. So you spend all this time believing this unbelievable thing, and then you take a step back and examine it. You have to examine yourself and your beliefs.
You're examining one course of action.
Exactly, but that helps you branch out to examine what other possibilities there might be, and then it kind of helps you to see the flaws in.
Right.
So there's a flaw here, and there's a flaw here. So I'm not going to believe either of those things.
Yes.
Right.
So let's find the thing that has the fewest flaws.
And that's the thing that I'm going to believe in.
And
Yeah.
ship that apart.
But the other thing that also takes someone from being a believer to a skeptic is if there's some type of trauma that happens to that
Experience.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be physical
But-
trauma.
Or just being
30
super mad at God.
30, you guys. Okay, no, I'll start at 30. 27. I'm about to turn 30. I know. Fuck you guys. You gotta talk me as a fucking baby boy, but no. But by 27, I realized that
We're all over 30.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
I'm almost 40.
You're almost 40. I'm 35.
You and I are the same age.
Fuck you.
You're like
anyway,
So you are the youngest.
half
I
a
am
month apart.
a bit more.
Enjoy your youth, sir.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Enjoy your youth.
Philosopher has a breaking days of its own. But anyway, the idea is that
Philosopher. Dun, 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 dun.
going with that. Truly, to be honest, I see that every one of us comes from different experience. But the thing is that with the age, a lot of us don't know what to look for. And if we don't know that there's a lot of things that are in front of us, we're willing to accept any claim. Now, the thing is the influential ability of receiving that claim or being stuck in the claim.
So is it a gradient of gullibility?
It has a trigger. That's a problem.
Yeah.
If it has a trigger, yes. But the thing is, it has actually very successful solutions as well.
Well, but can you?
What I'm saying is
change your gullibility level.
I think you can.
You can.
I
You
think
The
you
only
can.
thing
You
with
become
knowledge.
less
You know how
gullible.
to gauge yourself.
Or not,
knowledge.
is it not necessarily gullibility, but naivety?
Yeah. Naivety, yes.
Thank
I
you.
think it'd be naive. Well, I think that they would be related. Because
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But
the more
but the
naive
thing
you
about
are,
it is,
the more
you can
gullible
become
you're
less.
gonna be.
You can become less naive
Yeah.
The idea
and more
is getting the clear
understanding of the
image.
world, and still be gullible as fuck.
True.
Introducing
my sister.
Sounds your motherfucker, yeah.
facts and knowledge.
Think of Ricky. She's not super naive.
No, that's true. She's not.
But she's gullible as fuck.
That's a very
Okay, now how about this? Let me clarify it in the better terminology.
Okay.
If you are in your most lucid point, your choice
I won't be
to
able to see myself.
reflect upon your own faith is gonna be worth based upon your anyone saying shit and then relating to their shit, or is it gonna be how you approached it in the first place?
I
were
think-
you pissed, freaked out,
So-
or were you just hoping for fucking luck?
I think from at least from my experience, going from believer, from religious to skeptic, atheist, is once I realized that I'm examining it. Because the way that you're brought up in Christianity,
You don't question it.
You don't question it. And once I started questioning it, that there was those fears involved with questioning it, and I got over those fears. And at that, there was a turning point at that stage where I could have been like, nope, too scary. I'm going to hell, and just live the rest of my life following along with Christianity. But at a certain point, I realized, especially after reading the Bible, I'm like, there's so many inconsistencies
Yes.
in these things, and
You finally
I
started
don't- I
realizing
lost
that
the
you're
fear.
questioning a man,
Yeah.
not a fucking
yeah,
god.
Yes.
exactly.
That's exactly what the
Right,
problem is.
and that's why I'm more agnostic atheist, because there may be a God out there.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's not the one in the Bible.
Yeah.
I don't believe that one exists at
That's
all.
where I find myself, or at least a little agnostic deist. I mean,
Yeah,
Well, you can't because I mean, even if factually, there's not a God. So you're kind of put in a place where you can't like 100.
yeah.
You
It's not
should
like
be able to 100% say there's not a God.
it's not
So
like
what
saying that I
stops
have
some-
$100 and you're like, no,
I have
you
a
don't. I don't believe you have
fucking
$100. I can show you the $100.
Right.
Right.
The only reason I
thought-
say that I
No one can
can't.
show me God.
Exactly.
But at the same time, no one can
I'll show you
100%
God's dick.
disprove it. That's where I'm careful in my.
I forgot that they can't hear winking in the podcast.
I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys remember, but at the very beginning
Wink,
of the
air
conversation,
quotes, wink.
I don't know if you remember, but at the very beginning of the conversation, I stated that like I believe others believing in it, and I'm an optimist. Here's the funny fucking thing, and Chuck has probably seen me at work on that part. Even if it's fucking unrealistic and kind of in a way, just seeing that like their own fucking faith in any way of whoever takes on the challenge they do, it flips the fucking scenario.
Yep.
Whether it be God related or not, you create the energy of the optimism, or you create the positive energy of going forth with what was created, like the idea, the plan, the design. But the part is, how much are you believing yourself to be doing it, or versus how much you're believing something else, some other excess force to do
Yeah,
it.
that's a thought that I had on my path to atheism. Is this a part of a predestined order
You
where
would be
I'm
impressed how much
I'm being-
positive shit for me that not believing. You would be impressed how much shit positive things can actually do.
Yeah.
It's a fucking trip. It's like it's regardless of what it is. That's like a fucking thing that like trips me out. Sorry, go ahead.
But to Adam's point about you can't disprove it, we could say that about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I can tell
A
you
purple
that there's
rhino.
Yeah, exactly.
Flying in
There's
the
a
sky.
walking unicorn.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no,
that's in
I've used the
Flagstaff.
same equation.
But there have been moments through history where we were unanimous on.
here's my question.
The Earth is flat.
What is
Yeah.
the benefit?
And what did we discover?
What is? But it comes back to and there's a goddamn word for it. I'm gonna go look it up when I'm done.
Good.
What is the?
We're learning.
It has to do with benefit. Is there a benefit
Drive.
in believing in
Benevolence?
God
No.
or not believing in God?
Drive.
I don't think that there's a benefit in believing in God.
There's
No,
definitely-
I don't. I
definitely
mean,
there's
yeah,
drive.
because
and you actually size yourself up. because you size yourself up for perfection. God is supposed to be perfect in every religion.
See, here's the thing:
Can I still size myself up and focus on perfection and not
Yes,
believe
you
in
can.
God?
Yeah, definitely.
I do.
It's all up to the individual. If that's how. If that's
here's
the
the
path.
thing about most
You
religions.
don't have to have a.
Most religions do their best and not advert. What's the word I'm looking for? Not. So in your face, but not be so early and have a beer. But not so.
What's my excuse?
Residual.
Yeah.
I like that.
But blatant. There we are. Not so blatantly tearing people down, but systematically breaking somebody down, saying that they're nothing without God.
I hate that part
Right.
aspect of.
So if you're indoctrinated and
It's indoctrination,
and truly believe that you're nothing without God, then that person, without God, they are nothing. So yes, having that God helps them to be a better person. But I think that can be changed.
Right,
Yeah.
but I think it goes back. So Neil deGrasse Tyson.
So I don't think it's needed.
So
no.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Anytime we bring up Neil deGrasse Tyson is very welcome.
A lot of people. So in his Larry King interview, and in one of his, I forgot who the other interview was with, but in multiple interviews, a lot of the things that he talks about, because he's an atheist, is that.
Whoa! He
an
actually came
agnostic.
out and said, I don't like the title. I'm not an atheist. He prefers agnosticism, but you can still be agnostic atheist like ourselves. But
there's a reason.
Yeah.
The reason why he did that was because he has a comment that he does, and he explained it on Star Talk. Is that
Godspeed.
He says Godspeed a lot, and atheists are being dicks about it. And so,
Well, that's a respect thing. Just like you. Okay, you said you go to church with your family. It's out of a respect.
Well, Godspeed's just a term that's used to like good luck.
Yes.
So
like God bless you.
We could argue that since we're atheists, we can't say goodbye.
Right, exactly. But so anyway, so one of the things that they talk about is that he asks people, do you want to live forever? And most of them will say, well, yeah, I don't want to die. But it's the death part and
it's
dying
the fear of death
that makes you try harder in life. So my argument is that you actually would try harder not believing in God.
I think so.
Because if you know that when you die, you're dead, and it's just like it was before you were alive, then you only have a finite amount of time to say that this is what I need to do
You can
in
also-
this amount of time, so I need to work towards
Even not
doing
looking at
those
it that way, even looking at it, the uncertainty. Like in my case, it's the uncertainty of what happens after death. I'm leaning hardcore towards there's nothing, but there's a possibility. But my uncertainty drives me to do as much as possible in this lifetime as well.
Right.
Yeah,
But
you're-
And in
You're
religion,
hedging
you
your
can't,
bets.
and you
I
can't
mean,
completely discount religious folks because
even if you're
no,
religious,
I
why
think
wouldn't you
religion-
hedge your bets
I think
and do
this
as
stuff-
much as you can on this planet in this time that you have, as opposed to saying, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't need to better myself in any other way than monetarily to feed my family.
Why does so many
And when I die, I'm going to
A lot
heaven.
of the reason why over centuries we've come to this conclusion that there's this afterlife process is because it makes it easier for the serfs that are serving the kings for them to live their life essentially as slaves. For them to say, okay, well, in this life it's shitty, but when I die, it's going to be
all of my
I think,
servitude
honestly,
will pay off on the other side.
That actually makes me think about a good point here is that I believe that religiosity is a big proponent of how capitalism became so prominent.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a check and balances kind of system.
Yeah.
Basic.
They say there's a separation of church and state as well, but there's not.
No.
Because
Well,
what do
you can
politicians
think of it-
start spewing all the time? They try to cater to religious folks.
Yeah, but I think there's also a lot of good things that can be taught from from religion and practices.
Yeah,
that
there's a
can be
lot of
taken,
stuff that can be
but
taught
none of that
from the
stuff-
experiences
Except for
of
stoning
World War
people,
II,
because
but
we're well
not
past that.
thinking it's a good thing.
Right. Well, that's true. But what I'm talking about is like if you look at different religions that have different practices. So like Mormons, they have a lot of stuff that they have to do meditation.
Yeah, children. They have a lot of
They have
children.
a lot of children, but they do a lot of meditations.
Yeah.
And so those meditations are good for them as a human being. If you look at Buddhism, a lot of Buddhism has some meditation and it has to do with going without certain things.
Yeah.
Those are things that human beings can do that are good. So I think there's a lot of good stuff that can be taken from them. That's why I'm a proponent of finding all of that good stuff.
Getting your news from multiple sources.
This is where I'm gonna
Here's
get
the good stuff.
Exactly.
It's like when I gave up fasting for Rosh Hashanah for Lent.
Here's a very simple. I'm just gonna, dude. That just right there. You should have just answered it right there, bro.
There you go.
Just said. It's basic practice of controlling self.
Correct.
When you learn to control yourself, you learn to become.
That's
a better
called
person.
edging.
Yeah.
No,
Who the fuck likes hearing the word edging though? That's
That's a good point.
the edge.
This is like, okay, I gotta stop. I gotta
edging is
Edging.
double
Edging.
next to
Edging.
masturbation, dude.
The edge
No, that's
of
where I was going with it.
the edge of no
Well, I'm practicing. I gotta practice.
The idea is to train you to be more susceptible to say the word no, to say to
Right.
Tell your penis,
condition and
no.
discipline.
Right,
The
correct.
funny part is that a lot of shit we do nowadays does not require that. It requires disciplines. That's why sometimes we do small shit on the side. Like for example, if you're one of those people that
hobbies.
good play,
Hobbies.
but
Hobbies.
I'm right now fucking fixing a yard.
Yeah.
Fixing a yard, and then like I was doing something else on the side, but I was doing the same thing, like putting one piece together and just make sure it looks like it's in a harmony. It's just a visual image, but it looks fucking cool. So okay, I left it that, and then I went into my fucking yard, and I did a fucking grade A job today.
There you go.
And then the day before that, I did like shit because I was doing something fucking else.
Yeah.
The idea is you practice
balance.
these interactions.
Right.
And you know what that makes me think of?
Miniature interactions is what religion tries to break.
This brings me back to what we've been talking about: is doing that is a it could be argued that that's a type of meditation. Right?
It is type of
And we were talking about the breathing type meditation, just clearing your mind and all that. What the point I'm trying to make here is there's no one right way of getting there.
There is
But I don't
funny as
necessarily
it
think that
sounds,
there's a-
A right or wrong way.
Okay,
But I
no,
don't know if
that's
there's
not the
a
truth.
thing-
That's not
my
the
thing
truth.
is I don't think there's a thing to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two
See, I don't.
states of meditation.
No, it's the betterment of self. Is
Right,
what we're
okay.
talking
Okay,
about.
so yes,
Right.
betterment of
Yeah.
self. I don't think that there is a right way.
There's not, yeah.
But I know that there are wrong ways.
There-
Well, that's still subjective, though.
here's-
No, I don't think it's subjective at all.
Here's a-
There are wrong ways.
here's
Well,
how the
when
wrong way-
it interferes with others' free
I
will.
would have to say that there are wrong ways because some of the shit that Aleister Crowley did towards the
Was
later
affecting
part of
others.
His life it was affecting him. But I don't think that you can get to enlightenment by
Fucking a dude for 2 weeks.
excessiveness of like drugs and sex and
You can.
But I
It's a
don't,
fucking bad way that you can.
Subjective.
But I don't-
That's what we're saying. It's a wrong way.
Here's
You can get there, but it's.
here how it's wrong. This is how it's wrong.
I got here, but I robbed a lot
You
of
get
people
there,
on
but
the
by
way.
the time you get there, you're having conversations with yourself.
Let me clear this off the table right now. Meditation is
Yes.
a practice of absence of thought through focusing on sustainable breathing that is very consistent in every depth, and it goes very deep. So when you breathe very fucking deep. You
No.
breathe out just
Expand
as
your
deep.
diaphragm.
But the thing about it though is that you keep practicing. That's the only focus you have. There's nothing else that should be in mind. Now, meditation, from what you were saying, the wrong part, is a meditation from exercise. Exercising can put you on that same state where you can do that repetitive action to
Yes.
a point where it's very stable, just like a meter for a fucking. I'm not a musician, but like those one of those.
metronome.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
You got it.
Totally
It's all right.
wrong idiot.
We're all musicians.
But
Yeah,
anyway.
we're all musicians.
We knew what you're talking
I'm
about.
a different artist. But anyway, but
You'll,
that's the
you'll
thing.
draw our album covers.
It creates this sense of stability because you focus on it, and once you focus, there's nothing else in your mind.
Right.
And when I've had like I've been an athlete in several positions. I played goalkeeper for City League since I was 16, and there's times where I went blank. I didn't fucking remember
Right.
point A to point B, and it was 45 minutes span.
But I think that that's
like a
a good. I
highway.
think that that's a good way to do.
That's
to
where
get
it
to
goes bad though.
meditation.
That's where it goes bad because if you find that one bad way where like you're fucking pumped, you get all fucking psyched, you're gonna be in that state of mind because everything now gonna become even.
Yeah, I can get that.
And that's exactly where it comes because at the end when you achieve that final
Well, that's
thing,
also
you got
building
it,
habits.
but you
Yeah.
never got anything out of it because
That's
you never
true.
registered the moment.
right. That part I agree, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm a proponent of
You don't live in those
less.
moments. That's all. I
like
think.
is that less is a better way to get to enlightenment
is.
than over excessiveness.
It is.
I think just,
Because
for me,
over excessiveness,
internal
you don't learn
reflection
to do
helps.
less.
Yeah.
And internal reflection does help a lot.
Yeah, because I've tried meditation and I can't meditate. My mind won't shut off.
Right.
Well, no. Anyone who will tell you, anyone that's quote unquote mastered it, it takes time. It's
you know
not
what
an
it
I
is?
don't
easy.
even know if anybody's ever really
guys-
truly mastered it.
No.
Do you know what meditation
It's the
feels
act
like?
of trying that.
This is the best feel I've ever had out of meditation because I'm just like you guys. I've had my close calls, but then I had one fucking reel and a few other reel. The real call is that you will stop feeling any value in any object around you. For example, this mic right here next to me.
Would that be kind of like an ego death in a way?
Senses of what's going on.
But here's the thing.
I think the best feeling is
a car coming at you will
auto-ejaculate.
no longer be a threatening car. In a state of meditation, a car coming at you is no longer a threatening car,
because
even if
you
you're in
don't
the
have
middle of
this-
this.
You lose that sense of threat from the stuff that's around you.
Could you also say that it's losing a sense of self?
When you're over,
Yeah, it would be losing a sense of self.
when you're
The ego
using
death in a
other
way?
things, you can have the sense for the moment, but your memory will not record it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem about doing it with the influence of other things is your memory is not going to record that.
Then is it any benefit if it can't be recalled?
No.
a long-term
Unless maybe a
experience,
physical
you're just going.
benefit if you put your body in a better physical state.
I think the only thing you'd be able to recall is the blank.
That's what you want to do.
Right, and that's what would be the important part
Step
about
away
it,
from
because
the
I think
place,
that
you know,
Alex,
those
or
things.
that Adam had a good point. Who the fuck is Alex?
I get called Aaron, Alan, Alex by family
I've known
members.
you my
Dipshit.
whole life.
My family members.
I'm so like,
Hey, I said you were from Ecuador earlier.
so, but so like,
We knew each other so far back in the day of seeds in the sack.
so like, but I think that what Adam was saying is that you lose yourself.
He's my
from
twin.
it.
Sorry.
When you lose yourself from it, that's what you take away from it, because you have a
That's
less
what I'm saying. The only
you have a
recall
less sense of
or recollection
yourself,
you have would
so
be
you
the
have
blank.
less sense of needing the shit that's around you.
And isn't it supposed to be helpful to the self?
And I guess at that point, if all you can recall of the situation is the blank because you've put it out of your mind, then you won't have the stresses of if it were a negative
Correct.
situation or an overly positive situation, whatever
Very
the case
well
may
put.
be.
I wanted to lead with that one particularly was because we are first thing that goes. What is it? The first thing that goes with age.
Memory.
There you go.
Yeah.
Memories,
So
they suck.
how does memory come back when you don't have it?
So I have-
Conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
If you condition your life throughout the practice,
Is it a leave-in conditioner?
You gotta be careful.
As long as it's not drug induced though.
Yeah,
Memory is so fallible.
That's a rinse and repeat.
Memory is so fallible, and unfortunately, like when you do have a lapse of time historically that you can't recall, other people can feed into it, like people that were there and can start informing you in your mind on new memories of what happened. We discussed this before on the
Yeah,
show.
like on what was it?
That's a very
the other-
sloppy way of getting
the other
there,
side
but
of
you
the
get it.
toast. When you came over and we started talking about the Tuthill situation, and
To me, that verified
I
it.
shut up and let you
Yeah.
talk.
Right, but
and
we had the same experience.
Right, we had. That's
That
what.
was a
That's
good-
what he's saying.
Yeah.
That was a good recall.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But others can start informing somebody that the one who's forgotten things, they can start informing them and giving them new memories.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
He's
funny
sober.
thing. That's what I say. Is like, yeah,
I'm sober.
one of us being sober.
He's gonna have a different experience.
You are the only person to have the full experience. To the
You're
end.
our barometer, Jeremy.
Actually, that's
But
the way
hold
it
on,
sounds.
I totally agree with you. But there's also other factors too. There's also
There's fear factor.
does he have fatigue right now? I mean, are you tired from work? Are you? I mean, on what level are you fatigued compared to us? I mean, there's all different
He has
factors.
the actor syndrome too, because he's usually they would feed actors liquor before the fucking thing, before any show or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that like you can loosen up and open up.
Yeah, that's that. Having
Kind of like
a-
combating stage fright in a way.
Here.
I have one last tangent before we kind of give. I mean, this is all good stuff, and it's going to inform where we go in the other topic. And I'm going to add somehow in the title. This is now about philosophy.
Okay.
Yeah, we got very philosophical here.
What was it? What was it? Skeptic and believer sandwich and the philosopher's
Skeptic
stone.
believer sandwich on a philosopher's stone.
Yeah.
There you go. You got it.
And the bloody
everybody's like,
stone.
that is the name of the episode. I know.
Yeah.
We just came up with it.
Yeah.
I thought of it.
There you go, Jeremy.
Conned.
You guys forgot to bake it.
He's not drinking.
Oh
yes. Put the buns
Oh, it's a
in the
panini.
oven.
That's the kind of sandwich it is. It's a panini.
panini. Yes.
Thank you. That was actually first job.
Or we don't name it that, and then they're like, "What are they talking
That would be
about?"
hilarious
That's not the name
if
of
we
the
don't.
title. That's not the title of this episode. Did I click
We've
on the
done
wrong
that already,
one?
though.
Yeah,
We've done that already.
One last tangent, and we can look at this as rhetorical before we move on. But
You're rhetorical.
Yeah, you're rhetorical. God.
What?
That's it. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so let's say, what if we all are individuations, for lack of better words, of God or whatever this energy is in the universe? That and there is no specific independent God, but there's some stupid need. Okay, I shouldn't say stupid. Sorry. There's a need for this independent figure that everybody can worship and look to and for help and whatever. Is it a tulpa?
Yes.
Because we always talk about tulpas.
Yeah, it is
the tulpa cabana.
Is God
Is a tulpa.
Is God a tulpa?
I say it's the tulpa
We're
cabana
feeding it.
because
But
it's
in the
covering.
tulpa, in the
Cabana,
tulpa
yes.
concept, in the tulpa
I keep forgetting that's the
concept,
topa. Yeah.
Okay, this is not rhetorical. You guys all latched on. Let's do
This is
it.
not the tulpa.
people believe in something that
Yes.
something becomes real.
Yeah.
But are we? Is the real
It's-
thing like
it's-
real in the sense that we all believe
Here's
it,
the
or is
real.
physically real?
So a
real part about
tulpa.
it-
The thing about a tulpa is that, from my opinion of it, as a skeptic, I don't believe that a tulpa is a real thing that can happen. But based off of what a tulpa means,
Yeah.
then it means yes that it physically
Yeah,
manifests.
so I don't believe in that. But I do believe in the fact that if enough people
Okay.
believe it, it puts it.
An entertainer.
It doesn't make
The
it
idea is a
the
definite
idea
real thing.
becomes real.
The problem was they thought there was a power,
Now,
a
here's
belief
the
in a
idea.
power, but it's
Yeah.
a power in
It's
the belief.
the idea how
Yeah.
you engage it.
That's
So
actually
whatever
very
reality
true.
you play in front
Right?
of each other.
Say that again.
Don't hear it on the episode.
No. Say that again.
The problem is with religion, spirituality, and any kind of belief. The thing is, they have a belief in a power. They're now it's not going to be as nice as the first
no, go
time.
ahead.
It's not going to be as
Christ,
eloquent.
now I can't hear shit.
Yes, they're putting belief in a power, an independent power, but really it's just a power of belief.
They don't recognize that there's individuals running that belief.
Exactly.
The statement
Yeah.
itself. They don't recognize the individual running the
A
statement.
bunch of little men and women behind the curtain, and they all
Without
Truly-
together
without
make
the belief, without the belief, there would be no power or need for
And
it.
Exactly.
here's the thing that even though I'm a person without a master in my afterlife, it's because the practice that we do will make somebody else believe. So even if you're non-Christian and you do something good to fucking help a bum who's fucking drunk as shit, but you give him a sandwich anyway, or give him a fucking $10 anyway, because you just for the fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You
Or
see
some
kid
methadone.
who's untrained
Yeah.
but lives in a fucking family. That kid is more likely to gonna spread that word of what action you just did, and what
Yes.
action are they gonna base it off of? The one that they commonly hear, or the one magically? And the funny part, the world of possibilities behind that, it's unbelievable because they will might for fucking sake say, I don't want to be part of this shit. Fuck this.
Yeah, I want to eat my sandwich.
Yes. No, but that's the thing though. It's how
This
we
episode is a
practice it.
sandwich.
Yeah.
So the practice got tied back into the very common terminology is God within us.
Yeah.
So the practice is,
I think,
are we carrying
honestly,
that
yes.
action within us, and do we play that action in front of others?
I think
I'm thinking of Alice in Chains,
on
Heaven
the
Inside.
on the grand, the
song.
macro scale. God is definitely in humanity.
Yes.
It was
Yes,
created
that's a
by
start.
and lives there.
Yeah, and that's what makes if we're gonna look at tulpa and say that it's not a real physical thing, then yeah, it is, because it only exists because we created
mental
it to
construct.
exist.
Well, just think of any of the most outlandish sci-fi theory or ideas out there, like specific unattainable astronomical space
There's
travel.
still a measurement.
Right, but I'm talking about the ones that don't follow science and are just basically fantasy.
Like what unicorn.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
there.
Enjoy this one.
That idea exists.
Right.
Yep.
Like the flux capacitor. There's no fucking thing as a flux
but
capacitor.
we
Yes.
everyone knows
But if everybody says what a flux capacitor is,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, it's this
1.21 gigawatts.
21, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
this cool thing that has electricity or something that comes down and goes like this.
Yeah, we said
1.21 jiggle titties.
So
to me, that's what a tulpa is.
the flux,
Yeah.
the flux capacitor has become
Actual thing.
a MacGuffin tulpa.
Yeah.
Right. That's an actual thing that we all know, or like elves,
Yeah.
or like
Santa Claus.
dragons, or Santa Claus,
Or my
to me,
giant
Oh, you be
dick.
careful. There are people that are really serious about their belief in Fae.
So here's the
No, we're gonna do an episode.
Yes.
It's all about how we carry it. It's like, are we?
And that's where the spitballing comes in.
Yeah.
So-
Are we gonna drag others into it? And if we drag others into it, do they need it? If they need it,
No.
fuck,
Yeah.
dude. I will, like, truly, to be honest, you guys, I would fucking pretend like I'm a motherfucking butt kiss fucking Christian to fucking get my friend off his drugs. That would be one of those things, like if I saw somebody doing that shit, like
I
doing
say, yeah,
Christian
if
or
it
that
helps somebody, like with
shit, I would
AA.
fake my shit to get to.
Is there anything wrong in
don't-
that?
I
No.
think that I honestly think that a secular
fucking
approach
yes.
to
Yes.
addiction assistance or helping somebody with addiction, I think a secular approach is better.
And that's the thing. What we were talking about.
Because again,
the
like I
reason
was
why I bring
saying,
addiction up to
the
this.
religious aspect of it is designed to bring somebody to cut somebody down to say that they're nothing without God and that they need God to build themselves back up.
Not just
But
that.
you could swap that out and
the-
say that if you believed in God, it would help you get off your addiction.
Right, or there are secular approaches that work just as well. And
No,
even
I
better.
agree. I'm not disagreeing.
Idea of control.
Yeah.
It's idea of control.
So one last thing on all this role play, because it could be looked at as all role play, like we were talking about the LARPs.
LARP.
Is it all just like chaos magic? You conjure up things. You put you don't have to have a religion or a certain belief in this and that. You could just whatever you need in the moment to get by. If you need to be motherfucking Batman so you can get through this work week, you conjure that up.
Actually,
Batman. I believe in power of Batman. I am fucking Batman, and I'm gonna get through this week.
What follows chaos?
Yes.
Order.
Yes.
And what does order have anything to do with religion?
Getting me my pizza. Wait,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
sorry.
Well, no, it's the same. No,
Yes.
it's the same fucking message.
You're getting something, yes.
You're organizing.
I was just being a smartass in my answer.
But that's the thing, though. Life.
You do have a smart ass.
I do.
Life cycles has chaos and order.
Yes.
It's an interminable cycle. Regardless of what it is, if you fucking go through best times,
Have one without the
Otter. Anyway,
Otter
that's
pots.
one of those things. It's the most realistic aspect of time outside of our fucking solar system.
Yes.
It's chaos and order and
Yeah.
order. So, at one point,
Yeah, I was just
Chaotic, Big Bang.
That's
Arguably, best theory they have on it yet. Big Bang, and then order. Things
come to
forming
place.
into galaxies and planets
Yeah.
and stars and all that.
And the order is
It's gonna
chaos.
Start the same
Yes.
fucking shit over again.
It's
to be
just-
honest. It's funny. It's
I
But
think-
in a way, this could
the
be
order
argued.
and chaos break down like it's like layers of a cake.
Yes.
So there's order, or there's chaos, then there's order, and then below that, if you look deeper, it's
Yes.
more chaos. And if you look deeper,
Life.
it's order. And if you look
Yes.
deeper, it's more chaos. And if you look deeper, it's order. It just continues.
now, the only thing is the definition behind it.
Yeah.
It's life that brings that definition.
Yes. We have to be, an observer has to be there, a conscious observer.
Something has to be something.
And in the chaotic universe,
right? Something has
there
to be
is
something.
determinism.
Yes.
Because there's got to be a finite number eventually of possibilities in the chaos, and that creates determinism.
Right.
Parallel timelines, alternate timelines, multiple choices being in front of you, and you choosing one, and arguably, theoretically, on another timeline, you choose the other. Determinism again.
Yeah.
So yes, chaos and determinism. Chaos and determinism.
Everything. I've recently looked at those research that they've done with a fucking Hadron Collider.
Yes.
Yeah.
They keep leaning towards the well, as far as I know, but that one was probably it was before the 2014. So
Yeah, he should have a
probably 4
conversation
years
with Nate.
outdated. Anyway, but the thing is, it kept on leaning towards having multiple.
Yeah.
If we had one universe,
Yes.
I've actually kind of looked at it. One universe will mean that everything is
there's way
unlimited.
more than one
and
universe.
You and I, we can be like fucking 50 fucking million versions.
Yes.
as well. So unlimited part of it creates unlimited versions of yourself. So there's replicas of us.
Which creates chaos and determinism.
If it was, that's the thing.
Or look at it this way: if on the microscopic, the photon level
Yes.
or the quantum level,
Spooky action at a distance kind of lends itself to.
So here. At this moment, all of the particles that are here to make me
Yeah.
have.
They're not here to make you.
Well, no,
you're just here as a result.
They're here. They are formed
Yes.
to my being.
Yes.
But also, there's. So when you look at like.
Oh my God, they're
multiverse-
conformist.
No. So each individual particle that makes me up
Yes.
scatters, and there's not another me in a different universe. It's just a reconfiguration of everybody's
you
atoms.
is in
Yes.
the other
Yes,
universe.
that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's a combination of 1 to 9. Because remember, or 0 to 9. You know,
Yeah.
like it's one and another
Well,
point
yeah,
is
because it
going to
wouldn't be
redo that number.
exactly you. It would be what.
Well, I don't
makes
even think it
up-
would be a
It will never be exactly the same.
like say the tiny itty bitty little tiny cell in my
No,
molecule in my thumbnail
too much, but that was one of
It's a
those things.
variation.
It's a
is
hazy
in another
yeah.
human being altogether.
Is it a variation?
Every
But
particle of me.
on some higher conscious level,
no,
is it
that's-
all
that's
you?
all- That's a
If
time
there's-
consistent. No, what
Are
he's
these all
saying now-
containers for
So if you
one
look at it this way,
consciousness?
so I've built like 4 people out of Legos,
Yeah.
right? And I take all of those Legos apart and I mix them up in a box, and somebody else builds 4 people. It's not the same people; they
No,
use different
no.
pieces.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it for the multiverse.
Yeah.
It's not,
But my question is,
it's not that way though.
if consciousness
it
is
does not reuse this part.
But it's not reusing parts. The parts are still there.
But that's the thing. That
It's just reordering
was
them.
some really weird, freaky theory about that. Was that it's not that it's not reusing parts.
Spooky
it's
action
like
distance and
it's
particles being in
reusing
multiple places at
combination.
once. It
It
could
was
be.
That's what I'm talking
fucking
about.
weird like that. That was the part and limit to it. I didn't go too much. Like I really.
I'm
wish
just
I
saying
did.
what I think.
I even still have the.
And I
fucking
can't
book
ever
for it.
prove it, so it's as much as
And I don't
somebody.
think we would
Yeah,
be
no,
able to prove
we
it in
don't
our
care.
lifetimes.
But yeah,
Unless
so
we're able to transverse
Yeah.
universes. Or,
I'm going to say at this point, we'll leave it up to you guys, the audience. If you have any thoughts,
We
or
talked about a
ideas-
lot of shit today.
Yeah, we did take
a lot of
time.
stuff that you could think about.
Any one of the things that got you thinking, if you want to reach out to us at learningthecurse@gmail.com or go to ageofradio.org and look us up there. You
Slava,
listen
where
to
can
us
they reach
all
you
those places.
if they
You
want
can
to
go to
talk
our
to you?
Facebook page.
If you want to reach me, talk to Stephen Hampton.
I will talk to
Stephen
Stephen
Hampton
Hampton.
on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to let you guys know, like I try to promote you if you need some help, like I'll guide you. But truly, to be honest, I want to let you know that your answers are within yourself.
Yes.
You'll
Yeah.
always find that answer. You will be surprised how dumb it sounds, but that fucking thing is right there. I had to travel myself through those fucking obstacles, and I want to be honest. You'll be impressed how much knowledge you'll gain by just realizing how things just interact. You
Right.
don't have to be engaged in them, or if you want to be engaged in them, power to you, because you're a force. That makes you a force and a fucking soft.
We basically
Actually,
gave you the palette of paints to paint your picture with.
I have something to say to what you just said because I just recently rewatched That 70s Show, and I know it's a stupid way of putting it,
No.
but it's actually a really good
Still
way
a
of
good
putting
way.
it. So Hyde and Jackie or Hyde was trying to teach Jackie to be Zen, and he told her, like, she said, teach me how to be Zen, and the best way he put it was, you can't be taught, you can only learn.
Yeah.
You do as you see. It's
Yeah.
actually exactly what that is.
Yeah.
It's a
Like,
very.
I can't teach you this, you have to learn this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's
really what it
life.
is.
Practice and experience.
Yeah. Nobody can teach you life. You have to learn it.
And he probably made that up
On the spot.
himself, on the spot, because he's a Scientologist.
You think so?
He actually no.
Yeah.
Well, Hyde is a Scientologist,
Yeah.
but I was just messing.
Well, Hyde isn't,
As
but
funny as it sounds,
Danny Masterson is.
well, yeah, correct.
It's a practical. What you just said is actually a practical thought that can come across any mind, because it came across my mind before I fucking came to my own realizations.
Yeah.
And truly, to be honest, it's a mind where you can heal yourself because you're aware you are energy.
Yeah.
And no matter what, it's like the Scientologist though part of it is a fucked up one. It's the one that's like you're negative energy, like fuck you. You're like, yeah, fuck your genes on that one too. But anyway.
fuck your cum stained jeans, you motherfucker.
No, but what I mean with Scientology had a great practice to teach people to control themselves and learn a better thing, but they became so critical that they're actually just become a corporation and fuck themselves up.
Yeah.
The only scary part is that if the end of the world comes, like, fuck it, I'm joining the U.S. military, fuck fucking Scientology, dude. I'd rather fucking bomb this shit to hell.
Jeremy, where are you going? Jeremy's going to pee. This hasn't happened on the episode in a while.
No.
So I leave you with this. Believers, calm down a little bit. Get your
Yeah.
news from multiple sources. That's one thing you can learn from today. And
Skeptics, open your mind a little bit. There's more out there than
Yes.
absolute nothingness or
Exactly.
rigid stuff.
exactly.
Like my dick.
My dick. Believers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to believe in.
What do you think the floor is, Slava?
The floor is this. For as much as you can take, you'll keep on taking it regardless of what it is, because that's life. You can plug your ears up, you can do anything you want, but truly, to be honest, the lesson is never going to be outside in someone else's perspective. It's only going to be within your own actions. So play upon your own actions and do what you can do, because that is going to set the standard. That is going to be discussed later on.
Well, what did you do last Tuesday?
Last Tuesday, well, I ran into this fishing hook that decided to rip my. Well, anyway, I'd rather talk about this really crazy lady that decided to try
On
to
Thursday?
bite off of me. Yeah, well, she went crying. Wow. I truly, to be honest, dude, if you don't ignore it, man. No, dude, she was talking about crap. She had a freaking pain in the itch cut on her face. She almost looked like Mel Gibson there for a second.
So,
Untitties.
Untitties.
on titties.
Wait,
And
titties
titties.
again.
Titties.
Hold on. So
That's gonna be an outtake at the end.
What are we going to finish off? What do we want to talk about to finish it?
I just had a thought on something.
God damn, I'm sorry, Adam.
I think we should just.
we do this all the
Others
time.
doing good. Let's just promote others doing good.
Oh, you know what we
Make their
should do?
choices.